Yep. So I was 20 years in the Air Force as a pararescueman, working both Air Combat Command as well as AFSOC, doing missions on both sides of that. Just give you a good work ethic, really, which gives you a perspective on, there's times to get things done, there's times to get things done right, there's times to, to work through that. So there's one side of it. The other side is just knowing the truth behind what the military is. And at the end of the day, the military is a collection of people serving that higher purpose together. Sometimes it's all locked in. Sometimes they're getting there by the skin of their teeth. Sometimes they're feeling great. Other times they're completely scared. And knowing that and hoping that we can get them the best tools to improve any situation they're in, really just drives a lot of that, and knowing that we have those capabilities and how can we better bring those to them to get them that 10% edge that's going to make the difference when it matters, and get them the chance they need. After 20 years, you can't walk away and not still be attached to it. You've still got tons of people but even the ones you don't know, you know where they're at and what they're going through. And the desire just to make that a little bit better and make their situation a little bit better and give them that little advantage they might need. That can honestly, it might sound dramatic, but mean the difference between life and death in a moment. That's really what drives it. It's that human element to it that can easily be forgotten, but is really what it is. When I was a couple years in, still very young, E3, maybe E4, I found myself put out on the field, calling in aircraft to do parachute drops, landing and taking off helicopters, controlling all of it, while a bunch of senior officers and stuff stood around and watched me. They stood around and watched me because I had the training and I had the fancy beret in my pocket, and they just let me do it. And I think for me that underscored the level of task we ask of 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And the complex situations we put them in. And so how can we make those easier for them, safer for them, and give them a greater ability to execute those things? And I think that's a lot of what we get after. The dynamic cognitive load we put on a lot of soldiers, airmen, sailors, particularly in the special operations side of the military, is massive. So every % you can take off of that load just increases their ability to execute those missions, because again, on the special operations side, we're selecting people who are going to go out and think on the fly, not just execute from A to B to C to D because that's what someone told them. They're going to go from A, figure out B is not going to work, skip to K, or find a whole new letter, and we need to give them that ability to do that well. We get a little bit of advantage over a lot of people here in that what I do and the teams we work on have a direct impact to that end user in a lot of ways. So it's either making sure that what we're putting out to those end users is exactly what it needs to be with quality assurance, or with the production operations team being able to get it to them and get it running and keep it running for them and actually get those solutions into their hands. And then, when we're working with the IT and IT making sure our devs can build these amazing pieces of software, and the cybersecurity stuff, just keeping us safe from that digital world that we don't want coming in. That's really all these things feed directly into our ability to get our solutions to these customers. For all the same reasons what we do is important, the solutions we get to build on these teams are what get it to them. And for me, it's like the keystone in that. We take that out and the whole thing doesn't matter. If we can't get it to people, it doesn't matter. And if we can't make sure it's what it needs to be, it doesn't matter. Cares and understands. I think I just found out we're about 40%. I thought we were about 30%. We're up to 40% veterans. And these are people that, in a lot of cases, have lived in the exact spaces that we're now providing solutions to. And they really understand it. So even if you can't be there to tell us what you need, a lot of times we have a pretty good idea of where to go with it in those day-to-day decisions. And we care about what's going. It's not dollars in the bank, it's solutions to people that need them. And I think that's the biggest difference that I've seen. And to be honest, it's a company that really, The culture of the company shows it cares about its people. And that's kind of who you want to partner with anyway. One of those quality companies that cares about the people and shows that. But at the end of the day, it's because we understand the missions and really want to get you the right solutions. I spent 20 years as an Air Force Pararescueman. For those not familiar, it's a job where we come up with any method we can to get to someone who's hurt, lost, captured, otherwise. As I like to say, we get to bring second chances where there are none. And that was an awesome thing to do. It's very different than software development. There's not a lot of parallels there on the surface. Interestingly though, when you elevate just a little bit and look at the skill sets being used, particularly in the position I'm in now, where it's more leading these projects and managing these teams, there's some surprising parallels that I would not have drawn until I showed up here and got to do an internship and really learn all this. The way special operations works in particular is they will take a team and give them a lot of tools. And then they'll take that tool set and they'll point them at a mission and say, go figure it out. Here's a rough plan, go figure it out. And that's what you're there to do, is think on the fly, figure it out with the tools you brought in that toolbox. And that's a lot of the same we actually do here. We build these teams and we select them with tool sets, and then we send them to get after problems with the leeway to do so as much as needed. So some surprising parallels actually. Day to day, there's a lot of things I have to do in a slightly different way at Beast Code than I would have done in the Air Force, but I'm doing the same thing. Which was really interesting to see, and something I like to relay back to a lot of veterans that when we talk to them and stuff. Those parallels are there.